One of the fastest ways to improve and get noticed in the photography world is to choose a distinguished style. It narrows down your focus and makes you stand out from the crowd. But is it really good for you? What if style actually blocks your creativity and puts you in a handmade prison? So is style a trap, or is it something that you should actively pursue? Let's find out. Let's first speak about the obvious benefits. The first one is narrowing down your creative output, which means focus. A defined style provides you with a framework that simplifies an otherwise infinite choices involved in the creative process. Instead of wondering how to approach every new scene, your style now acts like a filter. That filter takes away anything unnecessary. You kind of begin to see images that fit in your style even before the shutter is pressed. You know instinctively which lighting, composition, or subject fit your narrative, and you simply ignore the rest. The style dictates your choice of focal length, aperture, and post-processing, making your workflow much more efficient. The result of that is that you don't need to spill your attention on multiple things anymore. By removing the multiple choices paralysis or trying every other technique out there, you're now forced to dig deeper into your chosen niche, and that often leads to greater creative breakthroughs. These self-imposed constraints force you to find creative ways to express your ideas within your established visual language. When you commit to a specific aesthetic, for example, high contrast, black and white, you stop looking at color. You completely ignore it and direct your attention to the infinite gradients of monochrome. Even when you're looking at particular color, you will try to translate it into your monochromatic vision. You focus on light, textures, shape, and shadow. Colors are ignored. For you, color will be just noise. The direct result of that is speed. By narrowing down your focus, you can skip some learning curves by focusing only on what is needed for your chosen style. And that allows you to reach your goals much faster. And then there is brand recognition. A consistent style allows people to associate a certain type of work with you, which allows you to charge a premium because you're providing a unique aesthetic. High-end clients and collectors hire photographers for their specific look rather than just the ability to document an event. They have been online, they went through hundreds of portfolios, and they have chosen you because that unique look that you have. At the end of the day, style is the voice of the artist, your voice. It allows you to move beyond the literal representation of what things look like and focus on the interpretation of how things feel, how they things feel to you, and how you want to represent them. By leaning into a specific style, you invite the viewer to see the world through your eyes, and that creates a deeper emotional connection. You can feel that immediately when you're browsing through an artist's portfolio. The images have cohesiveness and share a common thread, be it a color palette, a recurring motif, or a particular use of light. Together they gain that collective power. And look guys, history remembers photographers with specific point of view. Think about the grit of Taido Moriyama, the work of Henri Cartier-Bresson, or the colors, almost abstract photography of Saul Leiter. They all carry distinguished visual clues that repeat through their work. Once you have a photography style, that style acts as a beacon to your tribe. Your tribe is that specific audience that connects and appreciates your worldview. It's like music. People return to specific brands and musicians because they know the vibe and they like the vibe. But when it comes to style, it's not all roses. Style can become your creative prison and affect your emotional well-being. Once you're known for a specific look, you may feel tremendous pressure to produce work that fits the visual output people expect from you. And this is where styles stop helping you grow and start being an obstacle. And at the base of it lies fear. A fear that if you change, your work will not be accepted and you will disappear. Imagine how would a tribe of Michael Jackson react if he suddenly started sounding like Snoop Dogg. Some would say that he lost it, and they might be right. That fear leads to the avoidance of trying new techniques or genres simply because they don't match your established look. And here's something important to mention regarding style. There is a very fine line between a consistent style and repeating the same type of images over and over again. You risk becoming someone who just rotates similar visuals, producing predictable work that no longer challenges your viewer. From a marketing point of view, we also could have problems. A very strong visual style can actually narrow down your client space. Potentially, clients might assume that you are incapable of handling projects that require a different aesthetic. If you are known exclusively for gritty high contrast fashion, a client might never consider you for a clean commercial lifestyle shoot, even if you have the skill. And a note for the color graders here. If your style is closely tied to a current visual trend or a specific look, you might find yourself irrelevant once the industry moves on the next trend. So the same limitations that helped you grow faster, they now become an obstacle. You kind of develop a tunnel vision. You might walk past incredible opportunities simply because they don't fit your visual signature. Instead of responding authentically to a scene, you find yourself fishing for specific elements you know will work. And that drains the soul out of the creative process. This leads to artistic burnout and to a lot of depressed photographers. Keeping that same look across social media, portfolio, and zines becomes a chore rather than a joy. Now, I'm happy to tell you that there is a way out. There aren't many photographers who do it, but it can be a savior for you. Even if you already have a distinguished style, you can always test the waters by presenting personal projects. This is your safe zone. This is a place you can experiment. Personal projects, they usually act as a bridge between the artist that you are today and the artist you might become tomorrow. They provide that space where the rules of your established style do not really apply. And everyone in the photography world understands that by personal you actually mean I'm experimenting here. In your professional work or in your signature style work, pivoting to something else can be very, very expensive for you. It can hurt your brand or basically lead to losing clients. But in a personal project, it's okay to fail. It's your opportunity to express yourself creatively and also test the waters and see how your audience reacts to it. Personal project will allow you to try different styles without committing to a full rebranding. Maybe you are known for complex street photography, but you decide to spend a month focusing on minimalism. If such projects goes well, it can become a case study that proves to your future clients that and your followers that you are versatile. It shows that you are not a one-trick pony, but a photographer who can adapt their vision to different contexts. And often the things that we learn in a personal project, like a new way of working with light or a different editing technique, they can slowly leak back into our main style, and it will keep it fresh and prevent it from becoming a relic or a past trend. Personal projects are also very authentic because when you work on them, you are answering to no one but yourself. You are doing it for you. There is no algorithm to satisfy, there is no tribe to please. You are just doing it for yourself. So if you're stuck with a certain style, go for this. Try to do a personal project. Now, how do you decide if you should pursue a style or not? My take is this. If you're business oriented and searching for clients, or you want to growing your following and get fast recognition, go for a style. But if you're using photography as a tool for self-expression, let the style develop organically. Give yourself time. Forget about the audience. Experiment. Photograph what makes you curious and what you respond to instinctively. Just enjoy the path. Photography can be a lifelong journey, and if you're doing it for yourself, there is no reason to put pressures on you. That can lead to burnout or just, hating what you do. So just give yourself time. Photographers who are taking the long path often ask themselves, do I even have a style? To them, I'll say, the organic style is a byproduct of high volume of work. If you're taking 100 photos in a year, you're not really developing any style. But when you're taking 10, 20, 30,000 photographs every year, you will see the different patterns will emerge that you didn't consciously intend it. Look at a year's worth of work and find a common thread. Do you always gravitate to the same light, to the same distance, similar type of subjects? This is your style trying to tell you who you are. For a long time, I was photographing lonely people. At that time, I didn't know why I do it, but it was a reflection of my inner state at that moment. A true artist responds to what they are naturally drawn to, even if it's not marketable. Walk through a city and pay attention. What makes you stop? Is it the geometry or a shadow, a texture, a combination of colors, or certain types of subject? Just follow that inner feeling. For many years, I thought I have no style, that I just took photos of what I liked, but lately I've started seeing that I do gravitate towards certain things. My personal challenge is that I like to explore and I like to learn and experiment all the time, so I haven't locked in one thing. I always do a lot of different things altogether. But since for me enjoying the process is more important than marketing myself, I feel fine about it. Perhaps in the years to come, this will change and I will be more narrow focused, but for now I will just keep developing organically. But let's say you want to build a style intentionally. How do you do it? Well, first you need an idea, and I suggest you to ignore the trends. If you follow a trend, you are adopting a borrowed style, and that can backshot on you. Some can say he shoots like this and this photographer, and that is not a good thing to be known for. So try to develop something of your own. The best way is if you follow up with your curiosity and aesthetic taste and came up with your own formula. Browse online, see what you like, and find a certain pattern. For example, let's say that you decide to shoot only headshot as your subject. You use a 50mm f1.2, you shoot wide open as your technical choice, you choose only clean backgrounds and soft light, and finally you decide low contrast black and white as your aesthetic choice. Now you just focus on mastering these variables. You just keep repeating, keep photographing more and more subjects, and eventually you will be successful at it. The narrower your style goes, the easier it is to perfect that one thing, and the faster you will get results. But remember this, historically, most photographers are forgotten because their work looked like the era they lived in, and only a few are remembered because their work looked like them. Individual hits are impressive, but a 30-year of body of work with a consistent thread defines a real master. Well, I've laid the pros and the cons here, but I still believe the best way to let it grow is organically. If you're under time pressure and you're not chasing success, let time and repetition do their work and lead you towards your photographic style. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If not, have a good day and happy shooting. See you next time.